Well, the GEF is designated in the convention as an operating entity of the financial mechanism and has been so for over 20 years and therefore has been financing all the activities, or a lot of the activities under the convention in the developing countries, so that it help them achieve their commitments under the convention. So, out of about 30% of our money goes to climate change. So over these years, it's been about $4 billion, plus another 20 perhaps in co-financing. So overall, we've mobilized a lot of money in favor of the activities that this convention is encouraging countries to do.
And give us a sense how you interact with different countries at this process. Are you observing negotiations? Are you feeding into different discussions, feeding in your sort of expertise rather into different situations?
Well, exactly. I mean, the GEF is here as an observer, actually, and we interact with delegations, we interact with the committees when we are requested to do so. Many times we're asked for information. We naturally follow the decisions that are being taken because the conference gives guidance to the GEF every year. And that's guidance that we then incorporate into our strategies, into our activities, and so it's good for us to be here to understand what is meant, by what is being offered to us. So there's a lot of background work that we participate in.
And in terms of helping countries, I guess, develop more climate-friendly strategies, what sort of capacity building exercises do you guys do on an annual basis?
Well, first of all, every project of the GEF has a capacity development component, right? Because when you're doing whichever of the activities it might be biodiversity, might be climate change, might be any of the other of the focal areas, the people that are actually going to implement the project need that training. And a lot of them are locals who will then keep it as part of their background and can apply it forever after. So that's one aspect. Then we also work with countries in what we call cross-cutting capacity development. And this is more oriented towards the governments, and they're having the know-how and the capacity in their human capital, right, to prepare the regulations and legislation and policies that the governments need to have in place so that then the private sector and others will conform, adjust to them, and undertake the kind of activities that are necessary to move towards less carbon emission, a greener economy. We call it cross-cutting because in those projects we try to make it synergistic, integrate with the other conventions too, so that this capacity doesn't apply only to those who work in climate, but it encourages them to work as a team. Those who are working in climate, those who are working in biodiversity, in land degradation, international waters, in POPs, oftentimes work separately, right? And it's much better if you work together. And when you're doing one thing, you take into account the consequences in the other. So this kind of project actually tries to promote that, setting up national steering committees, encouraging joint work, even if it's across ministries that normally don't share as much. So that's the kind of thing that we do with them. And then we run a program ourselves from the Secretariat where we work with the GEF focal points, that's the people in the governments that work with GEF issues, the convention focal points, and civil society. And so we bring them all together per constituency once a year and have a 2-day workshop where we go through all the GEF policies, all the GEF procedures. That's sort of the first year. Then the second year we start moving into more specifics, and so based on the feedback that we get from them as to what are the issues they're more interested in, we design the next year's seminars on that basis to try to answer to those questions. And then the following, we do the same. We take what we've done before and either move it a step forward or integrate more of the topics. And there people are interested in results-based management, they're interested in monitoring and evaluation, they're interested in working more with civil society. We don't only present sessions of our own design, but our civil society groups design their own session and present it at our workshop. This year we worked a lot with 3 of the conventions who together designed one of the sessions to show from the side of the convention secretariats how these synergies can work. So it's not only GEF-centered, but GEF family-centered that we do this kind of work. So there's plenty of it.